Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our very first TBR selection of 2025. Yes guys, we are talking about what's on my January TBR, and to be honest, I still don't know what I'm reading. So the plan was to have the kid choose my books for January like she did for December, because she did do a pretty good job. But we didn't get to do that before she left for school. So I have a couple of wrapped mystery books that I could use for this month's TBR, because I don't know. I kind of have an inkling of like one book that might be in that stack, but I don't really know what the other two are. So I figured, hey, I'll use those three for this month. And then she actually did pick one book already, because I told her to grab me a book off the shelf after I had finished my other books for December. And she's already picked one. So I'm like, okay, that's 4 books that she technically picked. But I'm also going to need some more books for this month. And I have decided to pick books based off of where I got them, specifically being Dollar Tree. If you guys have been here for a while, you know I like to go into Dollar Tree and find books that are there. I have found like books by authors that a lot of people are talking about. And then I found books by authors I didn't know about, but they still really sounded like good, thrilling horror mystery stories. So I don't think I've actually read any of those books yet. So I'm like, this would be a perfect time for me to pick some of those and also do a reading vlog. So this month, or maybe next month, depending on how long I decide to take reading those books, you will be getting a reading vlog based off of books that I found at the Dollar Tree. And we're going to see, are these books really giving us, you know, what we want from our thrillers, our mysteries, and our horror? And, you know, even though they're $1.25, are these ones that you guys should keep your eye out for? Now, of course, Dollar Tree changes what they have in store. So some of the books you may not be able to find in there right now, but you can always decide, hey, is it worth me actually purchasing at regular price? So hopefully I have some good picks. I'm going to go ahead and first grab the books that I know I'm going to include. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the ones from Dollar Tree. And then I'll probably do like a random book generator to decide which I pull from that stack. Since I already have 4, I think I'll go ahead and pull 4 from the stack of Dollar Tree books that I have. And I think I have about 10. So yes, this is kind of like what this video is for, and then telling you what an upcoming video is for. And you guys are here as I make those decisions. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the books I have. I'm going to pull all the Dollar Tree ones. I'll give them numbers, do the number generator. And then after I do all of that, we'll go ahead and sit down and look at what my January TBR is going to be. So let's go. So I have pulled all of my Dollar Tree books, and we have 11, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 Dollar Tree books. So these are the books that she had wrapped in December that I didn't pick from for my December TBR. And then this is the one she just pulled off the shelf for me. So these ones we'll look at later. I'm going to go ahead and just place these down in the basket. And now we have these 11 Dollar Tree books. 2 of these books, actually, I'm missing one. There definitely should be 12. Give me one moment, because there's one missing. So I lied. There were actually 3 missing, because these were off in the top stack, because I was trying to get through the books that have been on my TBR for the longest, and these 3 were actually just purchased in December. So I honestly don't know if I'm going to include those ones. Like, I might take those out. So actually there's only one in this list that I know is by like an author that I'm familiar with. 2 authors actually, and I've actually read one of their books before. So I actually think I am going to take those top 3 off, because they're fairly new to my TBR, and I want to work through the older ones first. So technically there should be 14. But we're going to work with these 11. So they are in order. I'm going to go ahead and run the random generator to pick 4. I'll go ahead and put that on screen, and then we'll go through and see which books I end up reading from the stack. So, all right, so I have ran the number generator. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here so you guys can see me putting in the numbers. I did get a double number, so the numbers that were chosen are 2, 3, 5, and 11. I don't have 11 fingers, so you guys know what it looks like. So 2, 3, 5, and 11. So those are the books that I am going to be adding to the group. So let me show you what is in the first pile, and then we'll come back to this pile of Dollar Tree books. So in my first pile, I'll go over the unwrapped book first, and that is called Extinction, and it's by Douglas Preston. So I have no clue what this is about. I don't remember, and I like if you're new, I don't like to reread the backs of books right before I read them because I kind of want to be surprised. But it's so funny because my daughter saw this book first and she thought it was another book that I had read that had to do with dinosaurs. And she was like, I was so confused because I thought it was the book that you hated. But no, I hadn't read this one yet. I heard it's really good. I even brought that up to the lady at the bookstore when she recommended it. And she was like, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's absolutely nothing like that. And the book I'm talking about is The Paleontologist. Absolutely do not like that book. But anyway, this is by Douglas Preston. It is a #1 New York Times best-selling author. It doesn't say that about the book. And Lee Child, whoever that is, says it's spectacular. So she said it was a really good book, so I'm interested to get into this one. So this is our first read. And let's go ahead and get into our first mystery book here. All right. It's so funny because for the most part, I know it's on my TBR, but sometimes I get so confused. I've literally gone in a bookstore and have been looking at a book trying to figure out if I remember this book because I've seen it at the bookstore and I've read the back of it, or if it's actually on my shelf. Sometimes the book is on my shelf and sometimes it's just like in my head because I read it. So for the most part, I can tell what's missing, but I realize that I do kind of forget what I have on my list. And this one is actually called Sign Here, and it's by Claudia Lux. Now this one was actually recommended by a friend of mine. We read a lot of books together. Now from my memory, I think this is about, apparently she makes like this deal with the devil or something like that. That I do remember about this book. I can't remember like all of the ins and outs of what happened, but that's kind of the gist of it. A girl makes a deal with like the devil or something like that. So we're gonna see, because I hope it's not too devilish, because you know some of these books be reaching. But this one is going to be the first read for the month of January, or one of the first books on. Well, it's the second book in the list. It's not. I'm not. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's go into book number 2. I actually should have had her wrap more of them. This is actually fun. Okay, so the next book is called The Hive, and it's by Scarlett Brade or Brade. So funny, I don't remember ever buying this book. There is a book that in my mind, I think, or I thought I had. If it's not this third book, then I have no idea. Well, I do know that I never bought the book, which I did think I bought the book. It's funny because we're supposed to be reading that book at book club at work, and I voted for it because I thought I already had it. But I don't know what the heck this book is about. It's called The Hive. I have no idea what it's about. I don't even remember buying it, so that's actually kind of interesting. So this is the next book. So we have 3 books so far, and I know this is not the book that I am thinking I had because this is way too thick. And okay, so this one is Midnight is the Darkest Hour, and this one is by Ashley Winstead. So I actually read her other book. It's called The Last Housewife. I like that book. I do think like parts of it was just a little hard to read just because of what the content was. There was a lot of essay. It was a lot. But the book itself, I did like it. I'm hoping this one isn't I hope this one doesn't have those themes. Up here, Claire McIntosh, who's a New York Times bestselling author, says Where the Crawdad Sings meets Twilight meets Thelma and Louise in this brilliantly realized, totally original thriller. So very excited. There might be some vampires, y'all. So that means the book that I was looking for, which is So Thirsty, I don't own. And this is the thing. I always think I have something in my collection sometimes. Well, not always, but like a lot. Like I'm like, I have that book. And then I don't. And then there'll be times where I'm like, oh, I don't have that book. And then I do. That came up a lot over this break. There was like a book my daughter was going to get. And she was like, oh, what do you think about this book? And I was like, I think I have that. And I go and look and I'm like, oh yeah, I really do have it. And she was like about to buy it for me. But anyway, here are the first 4 books that we have on our TBR for this month. And that means I have to go and buy that book that I thought was on my shelf. So hey. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 11 are our numbers. So I'm going to go ahead so I don't mess up the count. I'm going to turn them to the sideways. So that's 2. And then this one would be 3. So we're going to do this. And then, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm actually really, and then the last one. So, okay. So these ones, this one, and then 11. So these are the, wait, not this first one. Did I mess this up? 2, 3, 5, 11. No, I didn't mess it up. I hope I didn't mess it up. Anyways, okay. So the first one, which was book 2, this is actually the author that I was like, I've already read a book by them. I like them. The book is called The Wife Between Us, and it's by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Peckkanen. And this one is called An Anonymous Girl. Have no clue what it's about. Can't remember what this one is about. But I did really enjoy The Wife Between Us. It was literally like book number 3 or 4. Like it was one of the earlier books that I read not last year, but the year before last when I started reading it, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing I don't like about this book is that this is a cute little pocket-sized book, but I'm gonna have to deal with it here. But you know, it was $1.25, so we're not complaining about that. The next book that is on the list, and I can't absolutely remember the order, but I think this one came next. It's called A Good Marriage. It's by Kimberly McCreight. This one does have a quote by Harlan Coben, which I used to read his books all the time back in the day, like in my early 20s, mid 20s. So, you know, I'm down. I remember that his book started to become like very predictable, but I'm still down. I'm down. A smart, provocative, insightful page turner I couldn't put down. So that's what this one is called. Excited about that. The third one I'm really interested in is called The Man in the Microwave Oven. And the author of the man. So I think this one is like a series. This is a mystery. But he also wrote, and this is by Susan Cox. She also wrote The Man on the Washing Machine. So it's basic mystery. Okay, so that's the award she won. So I don't know if this is like a series of the Man in series or whatever, but this is a mystery. So I'm guessing this one might be kind of light versus, you know, that thrill that the other books might give us. All right, and the last one is called The Sunday Girl. It's by Pip Drysdale, a gripping psychological thriller. I do remember seeing that this one was a psychological thriller, so I'm excited about that. So that's the 4th book. So here are all the books that we have in our collection. So let me go ahead, move that, and then show you guys these ones. Oh gosh. All right, can I pick this up? I can. Look at that. They're all backwards though. Okay, so putting the stack together, here are the 8 books that I have on my TBR this month. So this is what it looks like. This is what we're going to be reading. One of my biggest goals I mentioned in one of the Vlogmas videos was that I really wanted to get down like a quarter to a third of my TBR before I start buying additional books, with the exception of a list of books that I did share, because there are some books that I really want to get. And they're like, normally I don't have these are books that I want to read list, but I actually do have one. Now, some of those books don't come out until later in the year, so I'll be good. But I really want to get down because like I literally am running out of space to put books, and I am thinking about having some shelving added to the house. So of course if I do that, I'm going to share that with you guys. But I was like, okay, I need to at least get some of these other books read before I continue to buy additional books, because literally I have stacks of books just like on the floor by the bookshelf and now on my like T-bar. So I'm trying to get through a great deal of those books before I buy others. I will be buying So Thirsty because I literally thought I had that book and I don't. So I'm going to go get that one. But outside of that, I've been doing really, really well. Oh, and Dollar Tree books. Isn't it like you always justify yourself in a way of getting books? But I'm like, if I see a really good book in Dollar Tree, should I leave it? Because it's $1.25. Y'all know how it goes. Anyway, these are the books that I am reading this month. Let me know what's on your TBR. Have you read any of these? Of course, tell me about it. Thank you once again for those of you who keep coming back. I am super excited that the paper's flying away, that you have stuck with me, and I hope you continue to enjoy the videos. For those of you who are new, my name is Sho'Shanna. Thank you so much for joining. Do all the things so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.